Now, I want to talk to you today about how you can get a little bit more speed out of the golf ball, get a little bit more distance, hit the ball a little bit farther. And it's a very simple thing to understand. It's what I call width. But I want to show you how width can change the distance that the ball goes and how the ball gets to its ultimate destination. So here's what we're going to do. I got a 5-iron in my hand right here. I'm going to hit this shot, but what I'm going to do is create a very steep angle of attack. And then as I create this steep angle of attack, I'm going to explain some things to you as to why the golf ball doesn't go as far as it could go. And you're going to see some really interesting things. So I'm going to create a steep angle of attack. And this is one of the things that I see out of you. You tend to get the club up in the air. There's a lot of slamming of the golf club down on the ball. And even though you're generating good club head speed, you're not generating good ball speed. And I'm going to explain that to you here in a second. So here we go. Little steep angle of attack, see what happens. So obviously I hit down on that golf ball very hard. Now, I want you to just take a peek at what we have going on here. And again, shut the face, so pull it out. It just comes out as a pull. Can you replay that shot for me, Greg, so everybody can see that shot? Because this is going to be very interesting as you look at that. Look at the apex. Look at the curve of the ball. That club face is a little bit closed. It starts left and it goes left. That's a steep angle of attack, attacking down on the golf ball. Now let's take a peek at what our numbers are talking about. Apex 53, launch angle 9.6 degrees. Then we've got a club head speed, which is just a guess because I don't have it marked. A ball speed that's at 122.5. So that's enough speed to get that ball to get out there. It lands at about 177, but all of a sudden it ends up going 185. And because the ball's so low and it's trapping out this way with a backspin of 5,200, now all of a sudden that golf ball gets on the ground and it starts to go. Now, what we've got to do is we've got to get this golf ball to have a little bit of a higher apex. When I talk about apexing the ball a little bit higher, I am now talking about how I bring this golf club into the ball. And I want to just show you something real quickly before we get into this, because this is a really important part of how to get this golf ball to do what we want to do. So I want you to imagine that we're hitting the ball in that direction again. So I'm going to draw an arrow like this. That's the same direction that we were hitting the ball in this camera too. And I have a golf ball that's right here. Now, when I take the club and I create a steep angle of attack, this club is coming in on this angle right here. Energy is driving in that direction right there, or downward. And as that energy is driving in that direction downward, I'm losing a lot of my collision. I'm sending a lot of the energy downward instead of forward. I want the energy to be going in the arrow in the direction the arrow is going, which means I want this club to be coming into this golf ball a little bit more like this, or a little bit more like this, instead of like that. And I lose, even though club head speed might be, like I said, 89 or 90 miles an hour, when I'm driving it this way, I only get a ball speed that's going to be 122. So when I start to get some width in the backswing, and what that basically means is getting my arms and hands a little bit away from my chest, right? All of a sudden, the arc of the club head becomes a little bit wider. And as it's coming in wider, it's also now coming in more along the ground. And as that starts to happen, I don't have energy lost going into the ball, because it's not deflecting off of it in that vertical fashion. It's moving along the ground. That means that that ball is the energy is more like a head-on collision with a car instead of a glancing blow. So as I start to get a little bit wider in the backswing and I start to let this club come in along the ground, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a higher launch angle. That launch angle, as I said, was 9.6. And I'm going to start to get faster ball speeds, higher apexes, and greater carry and greater distance. So all that with just one thought. I'm not swinging the club any faster. And that's the part that you need to understand. You don't have to swing the club any faster to generate some more distance. And I look at this distance as a carry distance of 177, which is what I'm trying to get with the iron. I want the ball to carry a certain distance, not how far does it go. Because if I'm trying to hit at 177 and the flag's in the back of the green and it lands at 177 and then it rolls to 185, I've got a very difficult little chip shot or pitch shot from behind the green, possibly even a bunker shot. So I'm going to get a little bit wider. And I'm going to tell you how to get wider here in a second. But right now, let me just get a little bit wider and we're going to see what happens to these numbers. Now, watch what happens to this shot. First of all, you can see that ball didn't roll out very far. In fact, it flew to 189 and rolled out to 192. So it only rolled 2 yards as opposed to 7. But it flew 11 yards to 12 yards farther, just getting a little bit more shallow. Now watch what happens. Watch the change in these particular numbers. First of all, apex, 110. What was my apex before? 61 feet. What was it at?
53.
53 feet. So I doubled that apex with that shot there. And again, I don't know whether you can pull those 2 shots up again or not, but you're going to see that the apex of the second one is out of the screen. The blue one is well in the screen. The red one is out of the screen. That's because it's doubled. Now, we start to look at that vertical launch. That vertical launch, remember before, was 9.4 degrees. I think that's what it was. This one is 19.7. So a higher launch angle because the club is coming into the ground this way. And watch what happens to spin rates. The spin rate of that other one that I had was higher, actually 5,200 it was at before. Now it's at 4,900. Yet because the golf ball was apexed higher, the descent angle was steeper, and so though there was less spin, it rolled less. Because normally the ball with less spin is going to roll more. But this one, because it's apexed higher, it rolls less because the descent angle. Now, look at the ball speed. The ball speed on the other one was 122.5. 122.5. This is 123. So it's a half a mile an hour. That's all I got, a half a mile an hour. I gained a little bit of ball speed, not less, a little bit of ball speed, a lot of distance, 11 yards. Imagine what happens when you go to that driver and all of a sudden now you're getting similar clubhead speeds, similar ball speeds, but a whole lot more distance. And as we start to look at this, now we start seeing how this golf ball is going to react because of what we're doing to shallow this club. Now, what do we do to shallow the club? You've probably heard me tell you this 1,000 times. I'm going to continue to tell you to do this more and more because you need width in your swing. And what you do to gain width is you take the trail arm and you keep it straight. One of my favorite drills. You set up, take your lead hand off, make a backswing, go like that, put your lead hand on. Now you have it here, and now you come down. I'm not at all concerned with where the ball goes. I'm just trying to feel what it feels like to have width. So back here, take it to there, get the club, come down like that. And what you're going to feel is a lighter action of the golf club in the ground. If I'm hitting on mats, you'll hear it sound lighter as well. If I'm chopping, if I'm sweeping, totally different sound. And you can hear that on mats. So if you're one of those people that practices on mats, because I hate practicing on mats, it hurts my elbow. Well, you know why you're hurting your elbow? Because you're too steep and you got to get a little bit more shallow. So you do that drill where you get this extension back there with the right arm or the trail arm, and then we're going to put that into action with this club. So feel that right arm get way back there. See if we can get something similar to what we just got. We got 110. I think we got 110, 123, and 189. And this one I hit really well. So here we go again. Let's look at this. Apex, remember before I had it at 110. We started, our baseline was at 53. This one's at about 90, 86 feet. Backspin, similar, 4,200. Had a little bit of a draw on that one. The ball speed went down to 121, so I was under the ball speed that carried 177. I got that to carry 187 and a half. So again, more distance, more distance, more distance. More distance, more smiles. More distance, more fun. More distance, lower scores. More distance, more friends being jealous of you. Get that trail arm. I'm going to hit one more before I end this here so you get a real look at this. And I'm going to try to give this just a little bit more power. Okay? Trail arm, pushing back. Got that one just a fraction off of the toe. Wasn't my greatest hit at all. And yet, poor contact, great distance, 121 on the ball speed again. Less than I got with my chop. 185.4, more than I got with my chop. What does it mean? You need some width. You get yourself some width. You don't need to get any more clubhead speed. You may get some, but you don't need any more clubhead speed. What you're going to end up getting is greater distance, greater launch angle, higher apex, more distance, more fun.